Alright guys, so now we're going to be talking about the after equipment checklist. So this is equipment checklist before. We discussed what that was. It's basically you want to do this in 4 sets. Okay, set 1, you do it before you leave for the field, checking that you've got everything and checking that it's all in working condition. Set 2, you then do at the field when you're setting up. Set 3, you do at the field once you're packing up, and set 4, you do at home once you're done with the whole day. And this one is the one that you would do. You could actually use this anywhere, but I've described it as your arrival and setup equipment checklist. So once you get there, you then want to do this again. Okay, in my opinion, these two are the most important because you don't want to leave without having the right equipment, drive 2 hours and then not have what you need. And you also don't want to arrive and not to do a pre-flight check because things could have gone wrong. A long transit, your aircraft could have broken in some places, or a battery could have smacked against another battery and caused swellings. You never know what happens. Okay, so you want to check upon arrival. You want to do a pre-flight inspection, and that's what this is here. As you're setting up, you're going to double check that you've got everything you need. As you take it out of the car, you can think of it as a checklist. Remove the remote aircraft. Yes, we've got the remote aircraft. Remove the remote control. Yes, we've got the remote control, so on and so forth. So essentially all of this is exactly the same. It's just different in terms of placement, or where you do it and why you do it. So this is doing it to say this all works and I do have this before leaving. This is set to say yes, we've arrived with the right stuff and it's still in the same condition as we left it in. And there you have it, because this is exactly what we're going to have when we arrive at the field. Normally, of course, I would do this at the field. That's the whole point of this, is to do this at the field once you go through it bit by bit. Okay, like I explained or described just now. So I know we're going to get there and we're going to start flying immediately. So I won't have the time to do all of this. But that's the whole point, right? Is that yes, I'll make sure I've got all of this stuff. I will make sure I've got all of this stuff as I'm packing it out of the car. And then I will do my post-flight checks once we are actually done with the day. So this is arriving and setting up. This is not arriving and doing a pre-flight check. This is the pre-flight check. This is before you get there. This is once you're there. This is the pre-flight check. So you do this first. You then do this. You then move to this and then move to this. So that's how it works. Okay, and depending if it's an airplane, you do this, then this, and then do the airplane and airplane. Okay, because a pre-flight you do before you actually fly, and a post-flight you do once you have landed and finished your day's mission. Normally I would do the post-flight check once I'm there, but again, in the interest of time and in the interest of having a document that actually makes sense to you guys, we're going to do this, just a copy paste, and I will do this post-flight check in my own time instead of referring to this here. Okay, and we're not using a VTOL, so I don't have the ability to do any VTOL inspections that other than in my mind, in my imagination. And of course, I can't be putting my imagination things in here for an official flight, an official DFE-CAA flight. So I'm just going to stick to these 3 sections over here. Finishing off with a nice easy video there. The next section is going to be your flyway preparation. I have already made my videos on this, so we're just going to throw it in amongst it, and then we're going to go, we might actually need to backtrack to the weather assessment because I now am within range of the date of the flight, which means I'll be able to get the weather, but I might still leave this a little bit so that I can get the most accurate. Remember, the closer you can get to the day of the flight to plan for weather, the more accurate the weather forecasts are going to be, because you're more likely to, I can't say in a week from now I'm going to have rain, but I can say 2 days from now I'm going to have rain, and it's much more likely to happen. Okay, so that's why I'm actually going to save this one. We're going to move on then in my recording. I'm actually going to move on to the risk assessment and mitigation procedures, but you guys are going to jump up with the flyway preparation. Please enjoy that section. It's a very good section. A lot of detail, a lot of time went into these recordings and into this specific setup, having the calculation there for you guys already, things like that. So go ahead, bump over there and see what that's about.